Welcome everyone to this special edition of the Leadership Advancement Mentorship Podcast, a podcast that showcases the journeys of great leaders and how mentorship has really helped them to become more effective in their leadership. This is Dr. Michael Koku, your host, and I'm glad to bring to you today a friend of mine and a fellow Maxwell Leadership Executive Director, Coach, Speaker, and Trainer, Dr. Lucy. Hi, Dr. Lucy. How are you today?
Hello, Dr. Michael. I'm doing great. Too
Yeah.
blessed to be stressed.
That's awesome. Really awesome. Yeah, we want to meet you. Let's get to meet you. We always start by meeting our guests. Who is Dr. Lucy? And what do you want people to know about you?
Well, hi, everyone. I am a former public school educator. I spent 30 years in public education, ranging from elementary school all the way to university level education. So after 30 years of public education service, I decided to become courageous and bold and fulfill my longtime dream. My longtime dream was to become a speaker, a coach. So that's what I am currently doing. I just joined the John Maxwell team in March of 2023. So it has not been a year yet, but I have been adding value to lots of individuals out there, which it's my purpose now. After having served for 30 years in public education, I feel that God has equipped me now to serve outside of public education in a private sector, in a private way, and enhance the education systems through leadership development. So my new mission is to impact and transform education by building one leader at a time.
Wow, that's awesome. I like the word that you used, that your new mission.
My new
Because
mission.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, until a man has discovered what you can die for, that man is not fit to live. So the fitness for living is when you find a cause, something that goes beyond you, and that's what brings the difference, because success is what you make happen for yourself, but significance is what you make happen for others. And there's no way you can take significance and you go back to success, because success is a start. It's not the end zone. The end zone is significance, because significance is what goes through you. Success is what comes to you. So success is all about you, but significance is all about others.
Exactly.
And that's why life is more beautiful when you live a life of significance. So I'm very big about that. So the question we're going to ask you right now is, when did you find out that you have this leadership potential? I'm very big about this question, because how did you become aware? Because it's all about awareness, and every one of us have a leadership potential. Every great leaders, they have it. So at what point in your life did you become aware of this leadership potential within you? Thank you.
Yes, a great question. I became aware of my leadership potential when I became a public school teacher. When I first became a teacher and started teaching at the age of 22, that's when I first realized that, you know, I have leadership potential. I was able to conduct class, teach algebra and geometry to eighth graders, and I commanded respect, and they listened to me, and they were eager and happy to come and be in my class. So that's when I first realized, I have leadership potential. I can lead students into learning, and I did it effectively. And of course, with everything that you do in life, you get better at it every year.
Yeah.
So I gained confidence as an educator, as a teacher, and in turn, that gave me the confidence to lead first students, and then, well, it was a progression because I started leading in the classroom as a teacher, and then I started
Mm.
leading as a teacher in a team of teachers. So I
Mm.
became a team leader
Mm.
for colleagues of mine, and I had just been in teaching for less than 3 years. So that's when I first realized, oh, I've got leadership potential. And then that experience led me into leading projects at school. I became the UIL director and sponsor, and I was sponsoring different groups and
Mm.
serving as a after school Bible study. I led a Bible study after school with students, and so those very early experiences in my career led me to
Mm.
believe I had leadership potential. Which,
Wow, that
yes,
was awesome. So yours was when you became adults at the age of 22 as a classroom teacher. You just begin to find out.
formally,
Yeah.
formally, yes, Michael, Dr. Michael. I have to say that growing up, I was very fortunate to have a very supportive set of parents, and so I knew I was a leader in my family. I am the oldest of three. I have two brothers, and so as the oldest, I would always, lead them, and I would sit them down, and I would teach them a lesson. And
Mm.
so as a child, I knew I had leadership potential because my parents always made me feel that way. But
Mm.
in formal, in professional settings, or in as an adult, it was not until I became a teacher that it
Wow,
was
that's
confirmed.
awesome. Now, I haven't discovered the and when you became aware of this leadership potential, John Maxwell wrote a book called "Develop the Leader Within You." So currently, I'm doing the mastermind on developing the leader within you 2.0.
Mhm,
Yeah, I actually called the class "Unlock Your Infinite Growth Potential
mhm.
Transformational Training." So that means everyone has leadership potential. So the question is, at what point did you begin to pay the price for development? Because it's not enough to be aware that, oh, I got this, gift of
Yeah.
leadership inside of me. You can have it as a seed, like an oak tree has the potential, and
Mhm.
from acorn as a seed to become a mighty oak tree. But until you do something about the seed, you can take the seed all around or carry it all around with you. Everybody got that seed. So because I believe if you never did anything about that potential, that's all you have. Potential
Yeah.
means on you something that you yet to use, untapped power. No one even know you. In fact, I would not have even met you. You got me? Because I
Mhm.
see you taking the lead, and that's what really attracted you to me. Because I believe that's how you've been able to show up to people as a leader. So tell us, what are the price that you have paid for developing the leader within you? Thank you.
Yes, yes. That's a great point that you're making, and this is a wonderful question because a lot of individuals who perhaps do not really understand leadership
Mm.
see individuals' success as an overnight success, and it's
Mm.
not. It's a lot of work, a lot of discipline, dedication.
Yeah.
Um, so yes, you pay a price as a leader. You pay a price in terms of, sometimes you have to give up some things to get some things.
Mm.
For me, for example, when I received my PhD in education leadership, I realized that I had not, that I missed out on a lot of events with family and friends. I did not participate in a lot of social events, but the sacrifice was worth it. I was able to achieve this educational attainment that none of my family members have ever had the opportunity to be able to do. So in front of me there was an amazing opportunity that I could um not take. So I was afforded this opportunity. I consider myself a blessed woman. Like I said, no one in generations, no one that I know of in my family has ever attained the educational level that I have been blessed to
Mm.
attain. So that in itself tells me that God has given me a gift, that I
Mm,
must share with others.
mm,
I can gain all of this knowledge and this experience and keep it for myself.
mm,
That's
mm.
why this has become my life purpose now. It's my mission. How can I add value? How can I share what I know,
Mm,
what I have experienced to enlarge others, so
mm,
that others can enlarge others and make greater things in this world.
yeah. Mm,
So,
that's awesome. That's great. So tell us, what does that price look like? What I know one of those price you've paid to develop the leader within you is you got your PhD, and that was awesome. Like you said, that was awesome. What other price did you pay and to develop the leader within you?
well, it's the time. The
Mm,
time element, you pay the price of time. You also invest, and then you're talking about not only investing time but investing money.
mm,
So the sacrifice, to say no to many other things, to be able, the sacrifice you pay is also being sometimes isolation. you
mm, yeah.
you're isolated,
Mm,
because you are trying to achieve something, or some things that other people think that you're crazy. A lot,
mm,
I have been um, told I'm crazy in a lot of ways,
mm,
but of course in a good way.
mm,
Um, so you pay the price of isolation. You pay the price of time. And
mm. Wow,
yeah,
that's great. That's great. And I really appreciate that you put that out because there's always a price for the unusual. Like you said, people will think you crazy. Listen, when you are doing the normal, you don't get people
yeah,
attention. You only get people attention when you are doing above normal.
yes, yes,
When you are doing the status quo, everybody's fine with you. But when you now begin to move on to fulfill your purpose, that's when you get to get enemy. And the only way not to get criticized is to be nothing and do
and
nothing.
do nothing. Yeah,
Exactly. So if you don't like criticism, then leadership is not for you. Because
yeah,
as a leader, you will experience criticism. It's one of the price points. And you talk about isolation. I would like to call that isolation solitude.
mhm,
Solitude is when you have this time for separation. I think separation is key in preparation, because no matter what you want to do, if you want to be a leader, you need time for yourself, time to spend alone. One of the things that I've started of recent that has really helped me, because I love personal growth. I just tell myself that I need to grow more. I need to grow more. So
mhm.
towards last year, that was November, and I began to read more than I've ever been. I began
Mhm.
to read more, and as of yesterday, I read 6 books in a day. So
Wow.
yeah, I read 6 books in a day, and I finished some books that have been on my library a long time. So
Mhm.
I'm on a 6 books plan now. In fact, I want to add one more to make 7. And
Mhm.
I'm starting a social media called Train, and that's a name it's a new movement to really steer up people to read. So it's going to be called the Reader Addict Inspired Nations, just like we have drug addicts. So this will
Yes.
be this will be
Uh-huh.
this will be
I
called
love
the Reading Addict Inspired Nation. So it will be a forum to inspire people. We're gonna have a Facebook group, and where people will join and we'll challenge each other. What books are you reading right now? How long are you reading it? So people will be able to be inspired, because you need a community to be a community of readers.
Mhm.
That people that are struggling in reading one book, by the time you join that community, they will receive the inspiration, to read. And we're going to train people. There's a system I've developed, to train people on how to read. You can start with one book, then you can add second book. That's the way I started. And when you read books, you have answers to the question that are waiting for you. So I want to ask you a question. I know because you believe in mentorship. So what role has mentorship played in making you an effective leader? What role?
Oh my God, it's crucial.
Mm,
Having a mentor is key to your success.
mm,
And who you learn from matters, and it
mm,
matters big
mm,
time. So that's one of the areas that I wish I would have had better mentors. A lot
mm,
of the learning that I have done, especially in my professional career, as a public educator, has been in isolation. I've done it by
mm,
myself.
mm,
Sadly to say, and this is one of the things that I want to be able to add to education, it's
mm,
better mentorship in
mm.
education, especially especially with those educators that aspire to be leaders in the system. So mentorship is key to everyone's success, and whom you learn from matters. um
Mm.
I did, and a lot of it also has to do with you looking for that mentor.
Yeah.
I didn't look for mentors, and maybe that's why I didn't get mentors. It was not until later in my career, after I had become a principal, that I realized that I needed mentors, because I did have an experience with an individual who came to my school from
Mm,
the outside, and he came to my school as a consultant to help us raise the achievement scores. He had
mm,
been a school superintendent and a principal, and he was an older man, and he became my first mentor as
mm,
a professional. And then from there on, I realized that I needed mentors. So I approached. After that, I would approach people, and I would ask them,
mm,
I admire your work. I admire the way you conduct yourself.
mm,
Is it possible that I can learn from you, that you can teach me some things? I am interested in growing and learning, and would you teach me? And surprisingly enough, they would say, they would be thrilled. They'd
yeah,
be like, sure,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yeah,
Mm,
let
mm,
me share some things with you, and that's how it goes.
mm,
So for me, in
mm.
this role as a leadership development coach and trainer, I also want to coach young females, especially young females, to ask for those men. It's okay to ask
Mm.
others to teach you things,
Yeah, yeah,
and by the same token, you become a mentor,
yeah, yeah.
become available to other people. And that's what I do for young females. I've had this journey of 30 years in education.
Mm,
um I've learned a lesson or two that can probably benefit you in your
yeah.
new journey. So
Wow, that's
it's
awesome.
key.
That's awesome. Yeah. So one key question I want to ask you right now is how, when people want to listen right now, they are listening to Roasted and they
Okay.
want to find out can they, how can people develop the leader within them? Is there any tips you want to share, for someone that just became aware of the leadership potential? Someone might be listening to you now, they might still be young, maybe like less than 18-year-olds. They might be in their 20s, in their 30s, and they just wondering that, wow, they just discovered too that they have a leadership potential. Is there something you want to share on how they can develop that leaders within them? Is there anything you want to share there?
Yes, if you want to start developing the leader in you, you have to start the process by getting to know yourself.
Yeah.
You
Mm,
must know your strengths as well as your weaknesses.
mm,
So I would start by doing an assessment,
mm.
a personality assessment, a self assessment, so that, and that's a very good point to start. You know, as you know, John Maxwell says, you can't grow yourself if you don't know yourself.
Yeah.
So having doing exercises like starting with the assessment, and then doing an exercise of your developing a purpose. What's your purpose? What's your vision? And what is your mission? So looking back, reflecting back at your life, and looking back at your experiences, your what has cost you pain, experiences. What are your passions? What are those things that you wake up in the morning and you're so excited to do?
Mm,
Those things that you think, even if they don't pay me, I will still do it. Like, for
mm.
example, sharing with individuals today on your podcast. This is something that I woke up wanting to do, and
Wow, that's awesome.
and nobody has to give me a penny to do it. This
Mm.
is powerful stuff, sharing. So so that's how I know that I'm in the right mission, and
Mm.
fulfilling my mission every day. That's my purpose.
Mm.
So so going back to your original question
Yeah.
is starting to know yourself,
Yeah.
and knowing what are you working towards, what do you want to accomplish, because
Mm.
every day prepares you for that tomorrow that you want, or you getting
Wow.
closer to your goal. What are you doing every day to get closer to that mission of yours?
Mm.
You don't know the mission, then you don't know what to work on.
Mm. Wow. That's awesome. If you don't know your mission, you don't know what to work on. And that's why the greatest thing you can work on is to work on being the best version of yourself.
Exactly.
So developing the leader within you is something, it's a DIY, it's a do it yourself. Nobody can do it for you. So,
Exactly.
and if you listen to us, we want to encourage you that you can develop the leader within you, because there's a leader within you and you have the potential like everybody else. There's no such things that some people are born leaders, some people are not born leaders. No, we all have that leadership potential. And that's why I like to teach leadership, because it's a learnable skills. It's something you can learn. That's why you need to, in developing the leader within you, haven't find out you have to believe you have the potential. So the next thing that you have to do is just let me give people hack that will really help them. So I want to give you listen to now. I'm an acronym freak, so I want to give you an acronym. So the acronym is, the name of this podcast is LAMP. So that's what I'm going to give you. LAMP, LAMP. So what you want to do is LAMP, LAMP. So the L is learning. So, and this learning is not just ordinary learning. It has to be in-depth learning. So you need to discover what is so special about you. What are you passionate about? What are you passionate? Which problem do you think you have the solution? You have the answer. Because being a leader, you need to find out your field, your area. For instance, Dr. Lucy right now, she is coming from the public education. Now she joined the Maxwell leadership, where she can grow more and get more understanding, more mentorship, the same way I did, so that we can help more people. So you have to find which area do you see yourself making a difference in this world? So start learning about that area. Start learning about that area. John Maxwell, years ago, he started learning, and he identified 5 areas. He called it CLEAR: communication, leadership, attitude, equipping, and relationship. So just, if you can start with that 5 too, start learning. So we talk about in-depth learning, not just surface. So you have to start learning, listen to podcasts, listening to audio books in that area. So that's the L. So the second one is A. That A is what we call applied learning, application. So it's not enough for you to learn something. You have to find a way to apply what you're learning, put to practice. So because application is the key to transformation, and that will give you your own experience. So the next thing is M. The M is mentorship. Like Dr. Lucy just told us, she said she got a first mentor. She was doing everything in isolation. We are supposed to be doing things in collaboration with a mentor.
Yeah.
We need a mentor or a coach. And I said, without mentor, you will be frustrated by tormentors. Mentors will deliver you from tormentors. So you need mentors to guide you. This is what somebody said. He said, he that is taught by himself alone has a fool for his mentor. So there's nothing like, self-taught, I'm going to teach myself. No, you need a mentor, someone that has gone ahead of you. That will help you to get to where you're going fast. And the last thing that you need is the P. That P, I actually call it peer. I gave it a peer. P-E-E-R. You need positive, enriching, encouraging relationship. That means people that are going in the same direction like you. Mm-hmm. Just like me and Dr. Lucy now, we are peers. You got me? Both of us, we're in the executive program. Apart from being in the Maxwell leadership, we are learning together. We're growing together. That's how we get to know each other. So you need people going your direction, because some people are not going your direction. Whoever is not going your direction is a distraction.
Exactly.
So take notice of LAMP. This is how you develop the leader within you. You need an in-depth learning of your area of passion. Then you need to begin to apply that learning. Then you need to find a mentor, a coach that will give interpretation to what you are learning. Most of the time, what you are learning, because you're just learning now, they can tell you what works and what doesn't work. And you need a peer, people going in the same direction. So Dr. Lucy, quickly tell us, what is the greatest advice that you have received, and we'll give it to you.
I think one of the greatest pieces of advice that I have received, Dr. Michael, has been something regarding my value. For example, someone once told me, when people stop valuing you, or stop valuing the work that you do, it's time to move on.
That's true. Yeah.
Know when to move on. And knowing that you have planted a seed, that everything that happens, whenever you make that next move, it'll be a move of growth. So I needed that advice has been very important in my life, because this piece of advice just occurred to me less than 10 years ago. I was in a system that stopped valuing me and my work, and I was not growing. So that really made me realize that I had so much to offer, and lots to add on, except that I was not in the right environment. So the environment is super duper important. Sometimes we're just not in the right environment. Like, for example, an apple tree will not grow on concrete. You have to look for that right soil. So now that that advice was given to me 10 years ago, and that's what caused me to make a move. And that move catapulted me into what I consider my profession greatness, because of my learning. It unleashed my learning. It unleashed my confidence and motivation to do better and bigger things.
Wow, that's awesome. My last question for you is this. Looking back in your leadership journey, what is it that you didn't know when you started this journey that you feel that you wish you could go back? So what will you do differently if you know what you know now? What I mean is, looking back at your leadership journey, what is it that you didn't know when you started that you know now, that you wish you have known when you started this journey?
Without hesitation, I'll tell you, communication. I know now that lots of us communicate, but few of us connect. We don't connect. So communication. If I were to start all of my leadership journey again, I would focus on becoming a good communicator, and connecting with the individuals that I am leading.
Wow.
So in reflecting, in hindsight, my leadership career, I'm thinking I could have done a lot better with better communication.
Wow, that's awesome. And I like what you said. This is what somebody described as what we call the power triangle. You said that when you said power triangle happens when you are when you communicate effectively. It said that will lead to earning you recognition, that will earn you influence. So the power triangle is 3: communication, recognition, and influence. So it talks about when you are effective in your communication, you will earn recognition with people that you're communicating with, and also you'll be able to have more influence. So that's what you said is really key. Thank you so much. It's been a great time, and we've been learning a lot. So can you tell people where they can meet you, where they can get you? I know where to get you. Can you tell people how they can connect with you?
Well, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I am under Dr. Lucy Villarreal, and also you can connect with me on Facebook. Same name, Lucy Villarreal, or on Twitter as Dr. V Lucy on Twitter. So I hope that I have given you a little bit of encouragement today, or motivation to continue on that leadership journey of yours, or that growth journey that you're on. And like Dr. Michael said, unleash that leader within you. You have what it takes to be a leader. Thank you for the opportunity, Dr.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, Dr. Lisa, thank you so much. And so viewers, I believe this has been a game changer in your life. Don't forget, every transformation begins with your awareness and your readiness to accept responsibility for the change that you desire to have. And we've shared on this podcast, we talk about developing the leader within you by, first of all, learning in that area that you want to make contribution into your world. And this learning have to be an in-depth learning. Then after learning, you want to apply what you are learning to get that transformation. Then you need the mentorship, or you need a coach in your life. If you are yet to have that, listen, this is a new year, 2024. You can achieve what you want to achieve without the help of a coach. And the last thing is you need peers. You need a peer group, the right peer, people going in your direction. And we believe if you apply this, you will be able to develop the leader within you and improve your life personally and professionally. So before we come your way next time with another great leader, don't forget, application is the key to transformation. Thank you. See you next week. Bye-bye.